You say, well, it looks like there's only Potter, Southgate, Kieran McKenna, Gary Neville. Let's get Gary. No, I can't get Gary Neville back.
Stop
Wayne
it.
Rooney, can't bring Wayne Rooney.
Wait. Wazza?
Exactly.
Wazza?
So we look at the market and we're like, the market's bleak. All right, you know what? I'm sticking with Ten Hag. Evans, Varane, McTominay.
Mix sauce?
Has to go. So that's
Mix sauce?
Correct.
Hag in or hag out? Let's just say
Is that how
hag
it
in or hag
started?
out. Yeah, that's how it started.
my
Hag in or hag out.
But HH, you know me already. I'm a man of context.
Life, or rather football discourse, comes with no context.
You know me already. I've never been manager out. It's never been my story. When everyone was
So you're all in for Ragnarok.
No. Say that again.
You're all in for Ragnarok.
He was on a temporary contract. I didn't have to scream from the rooftops. Internally, I could just hope that he would not be the manager permanently. Internally, I didn't have to shout from the rooftops. He wasn't a permanent manager. I'm equally not going to shout from the rooftops for Ten Hag to stay or to go. No, I'm not going to do either. If Ten Hag was sacked tomorrow, if Ten Hag was sacked the day before the FA Cup final, I think it would be a disgrace of a decision because you're not giving your team the best.
No. Basically, that's like sports. That's what
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I'm just saying, you're not giving your team, you're not putting your team in a position to actually win the cup. But equally, could he complain? No. It's like this season has been dreadful. So if Ten Hag...
Well, it was an anomaly.
What, this season was an anomaly?
Yeah. Didn't you win the Karabuki last season? Came third?
Carabao Cup.
Karabuki.
Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad. But no, listen. If Ten Hag was sacked at different points in this season, I don't think he could have really argued that he was harshly done by. And I wouldn't understand if there was Man United fans who were visibly upset or angry that he got sacked because the results and the performances deserve the sacking. They deserve a sacking. But I'm not going to call for it because like I said when Jose, like I said when Oli, the manager at Manchester United is not the main problem with Manchester United. And the argument comes each time. Yeah, but a better manager could get more at this. That's the argument. A better manager could get more at this team. A more attacking manager could get more at this team. A manager who understands the club more could get more at this team. Oh, an elite manager can get more at this team. Well, let's see what the managers we're going through. We have to go through it. So we had David Moyes. He knew the Premier League inside out.
Summer. He deserved the summer.
I agree.
He deserved the summer.
But he also deserved to lose his job when he did. It wasn't. You had the Premier League champions. We finished 7th outside of Europe.
Fairly tax.
Maybe, but it is what it is. Then we brought in a manager of experience in Louis van Gaal, who just got to the 3rd place with Netherlands that summer. He finished 4th, playing boring football, then finished 5th and won the FA Cup, got sacked. Deserved to be sacked. But people said the boring football was not what we needed. He's a dinosaur. Oh, let's go get a true winner in Jose Mourinho.
And this is where everything effed up.
No, it effed up before then.
No, it did not.
Maybe for you.
No. How Mourinho was treated was crazy, and everything Mourinho has said hasn't come to be.
Yes.
Everything he complained about hasn't come to be true.
But those things were true before he said it. He was the first one to voice it publicly. But those things were true already. The recruitment was... You mentioned that Moyes deserved the summer. Moyes had a terrible summer and therefore a terrible season. Jose, in his 2nd season, didn't get what he wanted to get rid of Pogba. He wanted to get rid of Martial. They backed the players. Yeah, and I said at the time, I said, you either back Jose or sack him. You can't say, we're not going to allow you to get rid of the players that you want. We're only going to buy Dallo, Lee Grant, and I can't remember who the other player was now. And go ahead for the season. So you got players that you don't want being signed. You got players who you don't want not being sold. And you're expecting to have a productive season. Of course he got sacked in December. And he deserved to be sacked at the point because it was untenable. And we got in a man who knew the club, played exciting football, knew what we were all about. And we went on this roll. Ollie's at the wheel. And they said, we're going to make a decision at the end of the season. But they got in their feelings like all the fans did and said, oh, Ollie's at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? Gave him a contract. The season petered out. We got 2 top 4 finishes, got to a Europa Cup final, lost on penalties to Unai Emery. Ollie gets sacked. The players that we bought, Martial.
Did you agree with Ollie's sacking?
I'm going to get Martial, Rashford. Jose didn't really talk about them, like them, but we can get a world-class player. Let's get Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo comes in, scores a few goals, does his job as a pure striker, but things around there ain't working. Now it's Cristiano Ronaldo's fault. We love to pinpoint. It's his man. It was all Ronaldo. Get Ronaldo, everything's going to be sorted because he ruined it all. Solskjaer loses 5-0 to Liverpool, 4-1 to Leicester, or 4-0. Yeah, 4-1 to Leicester. I think it was 4-1 to Watford. He had to go at that moment because the situation was untenable, and I would even argue unrecoverable. That season it was only going one way. It didn't recover under Ranić or Carrick. It didn't recover, but it was always going to go that way. So he was either going to get sacked or we were going to end in the same position and he was going to leave at the end of the season. And people said, all right, now let's go and get a coach because these men aren't being coached.
So basically philosophy. Go the route of the philosophy.
Rashford's problem is that he's not being coached. He's never had a coach.
Rashford is a lost cause. Rashford is a lost cause. Bring the best coach is a lost cause.
I'm talking as the people. Martial never had a coach. I mean, most people wrote off Pogba already, but Pogba went. Let's go get a proper coach. So look what he did with Donny van der Beek at Ajax, and they beat Real Madrid. And we got the proper coaching. 2 games in, people are calling him Frank de Boer. We go and spend 70 million on Casemiro to survive the season, and we're in the same place 18 months later. Ten Hag is the problem. He needs to go, and let's go get a proper coach. And I say that, the names being thrown out are disgraceful. Graham Potter.
What?
Gareth Southgate.
Southfence.
Kieran McKenna. Like, I'm hearing names. And the only one that's got any kind of like quality is Tommy Tuchel. He's the only one. So,
okay. No, wait, real quick. But on Ten Hag, do you know where everything went wrong with Ten Hag? Just real quick. Is there are 2 types of managers. Good manager, philosophy manager. Mourinho is a good manager. Pep is a philosophy manager. Like a good manager is, I don't have a style. I'm here to win by any means necessary. A philosophy manager is win, lose or draw. This is how we play, and we live and die by how we play. Yes. Ten Hag was brought in to be a philosophy guy.
Yes.
Those few games are like, yeesh. It's going to take a long time. Oh my gosh, it's Man United. I go from Ajax, Man. This is my big break. Yep. Like, you know, when you work, this is like my big promotion at a big company to prove myself. I might not have another chance. I've got to switch from a philosophy to a gid. But that's not in your nature. Your nature is that you're a philosophy guy. So because he became a gid manager, and that ended up with third, it was like, okay, I think I can do this. No, you can do this now, but it's not sustainable. As bad as those first few games were, you had to be like, it's going to be ugly. This is how we play. This is how we do. And the key thing as well is that, okay, you didn't get Frankie de Jong. What's your option B? What's your option C?
It can't be Casemiro.
Whenever you have a first option, there must be a secondary, third, fourth option.
Of the same style.
Of the same style. So that you're like, okay, we didn't get that, but this is a similar guy because it's like playing football manager. Like when I play football manager, the first thing I do is I go to the player market because, okay, 4-3-3, okay, I need my number 10. I need my right left winger that can cross and go up and down. I need my striker with really good movement. I need my ball winner, DM to protect the defense. And those are the guys that you look for. Okay, this is my guy, my second guy, my third guy, my fourth guy. So the issue was, because right now, if you sack Ten Hag, is it now philosophy or gid? What's the next route?
Well, honestly, nobody knows. Nobody knows because we've got obviously new investors, therefore new board members. The issue, Man United fans are part of the issue, but I'm not going to say the fans are the issue, in that we don't even have the patience. Because last season, those first couple games, And it's not even just necessarily Man United fans, but the circus around Manchester United doesn't allow him to come in and get battered in search of implementing his philosophy for a long-term success. It doesn't allow that. It's Manchester United, because of our history, which is only 10 years deep in terms of since Fergie left. So everyone who experienced Fergie is now here talking in the media, prominent voices, etc., etc. Man United got it done. We got it done in our style, but the bottom line is we got it done. Therefore, everyone expects us to get it done. There is no leeway for project, for development, and taking time to get back to success. My hope, it's a tough one. My hope is that Man United fans, and therefore those noises that surround Man United, accept the situation we're in. That's why I hope we don't get into Europe. Other than if we win the FA Cup, fair enough, because I'll take a trophy over anything. But if we don't get into Europe, it's great. Because people will be like, you know what? They're actually worse than I thought. They're actually sunk lower than which means that you therefore allow a season of maybe development, a season of clearing out players and accepting before a ball is kicked, that this is going to be a tough season. But the problem is...
So you're saying from next season starts from scratch?
It has to be. It has to be, because in the ideal scenario, we need to be getting rid of between 10 and 15 players this summer. Some of them
10 to 15 this summer?
Yeah, 10. And I can list some.
List some.
I mean, actually, I've got a list somewhere. Let me pull up the list.
Let me know. Okay.
Go on.
Is Rashford gone?
No.
Bruno?
No.
Casemiro?
Yes.
Maguire?
Yes.
So Martial is already gone. You just bought Anthony? Or you can't really offload? Can you offload Anthony?
Anthony? Sure. Has to go.
Okay.
Sancho? Has to go.
Okay, makes sense.
Casemiro mentioned. Malacia? Has to go. Ericsson? Lindelof?
Yeah.
Maguire? Wan-Bissaka?
Wan-Bissaka?
Has to go. I'm not saying they will, but it has to go.
Okay.
Has to go. Martial, Evans, Varane, McTominay.
Mixed sauce?
Has to go. So that's...
Mixed
sauce?
sauce?
Correct. I think I've got 5, 8,
you're mixed sauce.
11, 13. 13 players.
No, forget mixed sauce.
Has to go. These players, I want to make it clear, I'm not blaming any one of these individual players for the position that Man United's in. But as long as these players and the size of our squad, which lacks so much quality, exists, we'll never be able to rebuild. We can't rebuild if we've got Casemiro on 300,000 a week, Sancho on 250,000 a week, Martial on 200,000 a week, Wan-Bissaka on 150,000 a week. Because they're already not good enough. And now they're taking up space for a player who you might want to get in who can potentially be good enough. I'm keeping Bruno. Bruno is a quality player. I don't care. Anyone says Bruno's a quality player. Rashford has 1 year.
Okay, wait, hold on. Bruno. Okay, Bruno. Bruno is a weird one. He is not an elite player.
I'll give you that.
But he can be useful. So I do believe that...
He can be very effective. I think more than useful.
No,
McTominay can be useful. Bruno can be effective. Very effective.
But this way, see, the Bruno... this is the thing about Bruno here. I hear the Bruno critics, but you know what the issue is? It's similar to Pogba. Mm-hmm. Based on how the team is built, Bruno is having to do too much. Yes. Bruno is a great appendix. He's an amazing appendage. He can't be the main guy where you're not reliant upon him. Build your team well, and Bruno is there to support another superstar guy. He's very useful. Yeah. So my thing is that, you can keep Bruno. The issue with Bruno is because the team is so defunct and the foundations are so rotten.
He ends up doing so much.
He's doing so much
all over the pitch.
And he is not of the level that he can do that much.
Yeah.
But still, because this is what the Bruno critics don't understand. No one is saying he's an elite or world class, but look at what is around him. And look at what he's been able to still do in games with how wretched the team around him is.
And you know what the kicker is? He was out for the last couple of games. And even the Bruno critics were like, you know what? We might need Bruno. We had nobody to create anything. He comes back in against Newcastle, best player on the pitch. So, and it's not to say, as you said, it doesn't mean he's elite, But when you're compared to the rest of the players around you, then your importance to the team is he's as important to us as a Declan Rice is to Arsenal.
So basically, you're in charge. What do you do? Like next season, what do you do? So do you do okay? Ten Hag, we sack you. We hire another philosophy guy, and we do it right this time. Where whatever you need, we build, and we're going to now focus on the right recruitment. We're going to do a mass clear out. We're actually going to because we're in May now, and there's Euros. We're actually going to sack him now. Announce the. See, it's tricky. So okay, let's say you're going with a new manager. Do you let Ten Hag do the FA Cup? Then after the FA Cup, you sack him? Or Ten Hag, you can have the FA Cup, but we actually know who the new manager is like now. What do you need? So from 18th or from 17th of May, we're now trying to find your targets from now. May 17th, working on what the new manager wants. Because the key thing to recruitment is the earlier you start, the better your chance of getting your first, second, or third choice targets.
So if I was in charge, I've already made my decision. Either way, I've already made my decision. I already know what's happening with Ten Hag when the FA Cup final's done. That result isn't going to change my decision. I've already made it. So it could be either one, but let's say for argument's sake, well, if I was in charge, my decision would be, and it would be made already potentially, but because I'm not sure all the discussions, I would have gone after Zidane already, and Zidane might have said no. Say, all right. I would have gone after Tuchel. Tuchel might have said no. Then I would have looked at the market and said, well, we know Alonso's not leaving anyway because he's decided to stay. Ancelotti's not leaving. Xavi's out. So you look at all the managers, all the options out there, potential options rather. And you say, well, it looks like there's only Potter, Southgate, Kieran McKenna, Gary Neville. Let's get Gary. No, I can't get Gary Neville back.
Stop
Wayne
it.
Rooney, no, can't bring Wayne Rooney.
Wait. Waza?
Exactly.
Waza?
So we look at the market and we're like, the market's bleak. All right, you know what? I'm sticking with Ten Hag. So at this point, I've already made my decision based on, and this is based on Zidane not coming, because I've spoken to him already.
So you're not a fan of Hansi Flick?
I'll take Flick. I'll take Flick. So, but I guess my questions are, have those managers been approached, and what were their answers? Because I would approach Tuchel. Listen,
and Tuchel says that he wants to return to England.
I'm similar to...
So Tuchel is very likely...
Me and you ain't too dissimilar. You are a product of Roman Abramovich. You're spoiled.
Yes.
I'm a product of Fergie. I'm spoiled.
Yeah.
I can't go through a project. Don't bring me no suckling baby to come and learn this trade at Manchester United.
So you want to ace the hard. Now we're getting to the root of
with a CV.
So no. So remember, philosophy kid, so you want a good manager.
Yeah. And but good doesn't mean you haven't got a philosophy. It means you are willing to abandon your philosophy in the let's say abandon. Park your philosophy.
But your main thing is your main thing is I'm here to win.
Yes.
So I'm here to United had a standard.
Yes.
And I'm here to bring United back to that standard.
Yes. And so I don't want a Potter. I don't even want a De Zerbi.
No.
I don't want them man are philosophy merchants who live and ultimately die by their philosophy. I ain't here to go through that.
And you know what?
And that's the reason why at this point I'm assuming Tuchel said no, Zidane said no, Flick said no, Enrique said no. Because that's how I'm looking. I'm looking at the elites. I'm looking at how many Champions Leagues you got. You can't apply for this job without a Champions League in your CV.
Yeah.
So
you're saying that they said no because they were told that this is a project, and they're like, no, I'm here to win now. So is that what you think that they said no?
I don't even know if these managers were approached.
Okay.
I'm saying, but if I was in charge, I would have gone after them. And if all of them said no, for whatever reason, if they all said no, I'm sticking with Ten Hag.
Okay, so do you feel the majority of United fans would support, not all, but the majority of United fans would support a project? Or most of United fans like you and their sport where, no, we know what Fergie did. We grew up with Fergie. We are sports brats. We want to take United back. We're not here for a time. Because I say this because I remember I was on the terrace. And I was like, bro, remember, I grew up with Fergie. So that's 92 team. I grew up with Fergie. Like, my older brother was a Cantona United fan. So I knew that. So I know what United. So United will always be, okay, it's that club. So I was on the terrace and a United fan said that third and a Carabao Cup, that's success. I'm like, huh? So no, that's a success. Like based on when that's a good season. Like this is not the Man United that I know. Surely your standards have to be higher than third place and a Karabuki. So my thing though is, based on just the last 10 years, have United fans now been like, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, but all right,
it's actually a tough one, HA, because I think if you spoke to 10 different Man United fans, you get 5 different answers. Because I've spoken to multiple Man United fans and there's different answers. I've got some people saying on the same wave as me, the next manager, let me see a CV. CV managers only. But then I've got other Man United fans, like KJ from the Football Terrace, who's like, I want a project manager. I want a manager, because he believes INEOS want a project manager. He's backing INEOS, therefore he wants a manager that suits with them. And I'm like, I don't mind having a manager that suits with them, but not if it's Potter or Southgate. If Potter or Southgate suits with them, I'm against them. Because that ain't from... I have to...
No. Potter Southgate, that's crazy.
I have to make my thoughts and my decisions or my feelings based on myself, not just them. I accept whatever decision they make. I can't do anything about it. But I don't believe in certain managers that I'm hearing touted. But then what I gauge from the match-going fans, we know the match-going fans are not the biggest percentage, but I would argue they have the biggest influence. We know that a lot of people are talking online and tweeting, etc. But when the owners are in the stadium, and let's say the stadium is half empty or the stadium's full, if the fans are booing or not booing, that has a bigger influence on owners' decisions than whether someone's tweeting Ten Hag out or screaming it through a microphone. The majority of match-going fans are still behind Ten Hag. And it's crazy to think that. But I get it because of the last 10 years. I think Man United fans, as it stands, to answer your question, are willing to go through a project with Ten Hag as the manager because we decided to get Ten Hag 2 years ago. So let's try and stick through it. We didn't stick through Moyes. We didn't stick through LVG. We didn't stick through Jose. We didn't stick through Oli. I'm tired of changing managers. We've got a man in charge. This season has been terrible. Last season wasn't bad. Let's stick through this. Let's give it at least another year.
Because my thing is that you can't sack him and hire like a De Zerbi or something. Because you're doing the same thing.
So I think they're willing to have a project manager with Ten Hag as the man because we've already got him. But I don't think they're willing to get rid of him and start a new project.
Makes no sense.
If you're going to get rid of him, you get a CV elite winner.
Because you have to do something. Because see, for me, I hate projects. I'm here to win now. Like
me and you're not too dissimilar.
Yeah, because my thing that a project, the thing about that it's not all of them work. Not all projects work because do you know what it is? I think people it's like a hipster thing of like, oh, a project, let's give it time and like don't worry, like we'll be in 5, 6 years time, we're gonna be amazing.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
You don't know what's gonna happen because football, just like life, is unpredictable. Things change, football styles change, different things happen. Which is why the safest thing to do is like, okay, I have an idea, but my main thing is how quickly can I try and win and get a dub. Now, you see, the issue here is that the Premier League is in a precarious situation where there's a guy who is foster carrying this league in Pep Guardiola. So it's going to be very hard to anybody to win it ahead of him. But the reality is, where United are concerned, these are the two choices. If you sack Ten Hag, you've got to hire a guy that's here to win now. And you have to get rid of everybody and give him players to win now, whether that be the league, FA Cup, European trophy, but his main aim is to win now. If you want to do a project and build something, you have to work with Ten Hag and keep it with Ten Hag. Because as you said, okay, you sack Ten Hag, who do you bring in? And
you're moving sideways.
And also, that guy that you bring in, how do you, because you're like rolling dice.
It's a punt.
How do you know that, you're making a pot, how do you know that this new president manager is not going to be different? Because let's be real, it's very easy to now insult and crack all the Ten Hag jokes, and I crack them jokes. But in 2019, this guy served up Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. And this guy was playing crazy football with Ajax. And we all thought they should have been in that UCL final. So he was the real sexiest hipster manager back then. So
now we want to fast forward and get the next sexy hipster back and end up in the same position 18
because
months.
now the new thing now is Amorim. I was like, wait, who's freaking Amorim dude? So there's always a new hipster.
Always.
Wasn't De Zerbi the next Pep?
Yep.
Where are Brighton now? So this whole thing of like, oh my gosh, the project thing, it's a
myth. No, it's a ruse. It's a myth that clubs sell their fans to alleviate them from the pressure of winning now.
Who started? Because you're an NBA fan. Who started this whole thing? Trust the process.
Oh, I don't know actually.
Philly, the 76ers.
Oh, did they? Okay,
they're all about trust. Tank this season. Trust the process. Don't we get there? Those guys haven't sniffed an NBA final stage. So the first thing, it's because I think Tuchel even said it. No. It's about winning now. And
that has to be the...
So, based on the club you're at, you see, Brighton, project.
Yeah, sure.
Tottenham, product stroke vibes.
Yes.
Those work for them. Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea now, City, you've got to win.
Yeah.
Your main aim has got to be like, how do I get these guys to win? Because this club has... Because think about it. Manchester United fans, you want to wait 6 years before you see returns on something?
After we've already waited 10 years.
I mean...
if they sold me a project, no, it wouldn't work, but if they sold me a project after LVG, potentially, or after Moyes, I might have been down for it. To be fair, it was a bit too soon after Fergie, but I might have been down for it. They would have got rid of a lot of old players that Fergie had and replenished. But we haven't done that. We've kind of just put experienced player on top of experienced player on top of experienced player, and now you're going to tell me about a project after I've waited 10 years? And I know it's not your fault, INEOS. You're only coming now. But I don't care. I've been there. I need to win. I'm starving. Listen, I've never wanted to win an FA Cup so much this season. I respect the FA Cup. It's still a major domestic cup. It's not the League or Champions League, but it's a major domestic cup. I've never been so desperate. I've never been so... Because I've never been in a position like I'm now where I don't know when the next trophy's coming. So the trophy that's there in front of me,
you have to take it.
Now, I'm not going to... Arteta and Arsenal definitely went through a project. And now they're at the point of this project, the end of it, where now they need to be winning. Because he had 8th, 5th, last season title challenge. This season, if not last season, but this season, he had to win something.
Yeah.
FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League, Champions League. Had to win something. Didn't. Now let's, for argument's sake, Pep wins 5 in a row. Wins next season. Then he decides to leave. As we stand now, Arsenal fans will be like, we are in the best position to take over from Man City after Pep. Says who? Because who knows what's going to happen next season? Arne Slot might hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen. Might hit the ground running. Poch and Cole Palmer might turn up. Man United might get it out together. 2 years' time. The point is, the whole landscape of the league can change like that.
Yeah.
So when you're in that moment, when you've got the players and you've got the manager, you win now. You don't put that aside in the hope that in 5 years, Pochettino at Spurs, they were in that moment.
Yeah. You have to execute. You have to take the moment.
And they didn't, and they've fallen away. I'm not saying that's going to happen necessarily to Arsenal, but who knows what the future holds? So if the opportunity comes to get a manager who you believe can win now, and when I say win now, I don't expect any manager to come in and win the Premier League tomorrow with Manchester United. I don't care who you are. If Pep managed Man United next season, we ain't win the Premier League. Guaranteed, we ain't win the Premier League.
Yeah, no, not help.
But the mentality of the club is striving to win as soon as possible. Not in 5 years' time, in 4 years' time. No. We are going to build a squad from the day you step foot here that is capable of winning the best trophies. And if we're not going to do the project with Ten Hag, because we're already 2 years into it. Whichever way you want to look at it, we're 2 years into it.
Yeah.
Then we have to go down that route. No Potter, no De Zerbi, and to hell, no Southgate.
Why not? Why not Gareth? Gaz.
Because as an England fan, I believe that Southgate is the right man for England to lead the nation, Have Hope's nation, to glory. And so I want him to remain at England. And that means that unfortunately, Man United, we can't get him because it's what's best for the country.